Now this is a first for me. This is really very, very strange. There have been more GRPCs than Andrew has had birthdays. And I can actually remember the very specific day when he became taller than I am tall. So it is with great pleasure that I introduce Ellen and my son, who has earned his place by himself, Andrew Gottlieb.
Well, now I'm kind of on the spot. So I'm actually here, this is a weird panel, which is one that is actually one of my favorites that we've been doing at JRPC because it is so different. This is 5 people now that are up on stage that are going to give you a different perspective, different ideas on what we can do to grow this room so that it is not just this room. This conference is being live streamed on Facebook right now. And that gave me the idea to create this new project we're going to work on called 2A Gaming, which sounds like an interesting idea and doesn't really make a lot of sense to a lot of people. But let me give you some numbers. 65% of adults in the United States play video games. 60% of those are active in politics. And now half of those play games that revolve around firearms. They're called shooter games. So you do the math. 65% of adults, that's 160 million people. Half of them playing gun games, 80 million. And 60% of those are active voters, people who will decide this country's politics on guns, 48 million people. That's 48 million people that we have to reach out to that are going to help us change the attack on gun culture. They're going to let us expand our base, get younger, and just have more fun doing it too. So for a lot of people, video games are their first and only interaction with firearms. It's our job to encourage that relationship. I mean, I personally enjoy guns and video games a lot more because I don't have to pay for ammunition. And the big thing is this, and I know Lara's going to talk about this. The Second Amendment does not and shouldn't be a partisan issue. It should not be down party lines when we go to Congress. It should not depend who is president to worry about if your gun rights are safe or not. And you have so many people playing video games using guns every day who are very diverse in who they vote for, but they have that connection with us. So in August, those people were told by politicians that they were part of something that was to blame for a violent act committed by one individual. They didn't agree. Does that sound familiar to any of us? So just like law-abiding gun owners who are the target of similar blame, they're right to be upset. But the problem for gun culture is that instead of working with those people who we have so much common ground with, we ignored them. And now, unfortunately, a lot of them have been turning against guns. They get told video games are the problem, and they say, no, it's guns. But neither of those are true. And we can't afford to be losing more people. We have to grow this movement. We have to get younger. So now back to what 2A gaming is. So there's quite a few gamers who watch other people play games and even get advice from them. It drives quite a bit of money in this country. It's a $43 billion industry. Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Mixer are the biggest platforms, and they're growing rapidly. Even TV networks are struggling to compete against them. And just so you guys know, you have Twitch, which is owned by Amazon. YouTube is owned by Google. Facebook is obviously Facebook, and Mixer is owned by Microsoft. You have some of the biggest tech companies that are becoming some of the biggest places for people to go to basically get information. So 2A Gaming is something we're going to be doing. We're going to be live streaming on Facebook while playing games and talking about Second Amendment issues. So current events, issues going on, laws, anything that we would need to reach out to people to get them involved in their community and active. So this project is hoping to start soon. We've been doing test streams, and surprisingly, and this has really blown me away, I have not had a single negative interaction with anybody that I've reached. I've even had other streamers, other partners in the industry wanting to help as soon as we go live. And what was really cool is last night I went to Best Buy because we had issues with the tech setup in here. And as I was browsing for what I needed to get, somebody noticed what I was looking at and asked if I streamed. I told him what I did, told him I explained what I was starting, and he was like, oh my God, I work security. I love what you guys are doing. This is so fantastic. And so seeing that in the real world, this project is going to help us get younger. It's going to grow, and we're going to have a lot more fun sharing why we like guns to everybody else. And we're going to help shift the culture war so that we are not on the losing end. Thank you.